Hello everyone. Hi everyone. Hello. How are you guys? Welcome, ma'am.
Hello.
Um, so, um, Vaishnavi is the DSC lead of RAIT, and she will be taking the session on how to become a DSC today with us. Vaishnavi, welcome to our channel.
All right. Thank you so much, Unnati. Like as the title suggests, how to become a DSC lead is what this session is about. So, like today we'll be sort of talking about, let's say, what are the expectations of, the reviewers of your application, and what exactly does the job of a DSC lead entails. So we'll be talking about these things, and if you have any questions that you would want to, ask, then like you can do so. Also, yeah, I mean, keep the YouTube live chat active as much as you can. I'll continue, with the session. So just give me one sec.
Yeah, keep your questions coming, guys, so that the ma'am could answer that, and she would be telling about how like application procedure and with the what are the perks after becoming a DSC lead and what are the benefits of becoming a DSC lead as well. So, yeah. Hello, Harshit. Hi, Harsh. Hi, Vishesh. Hi, Shashank. How are you guys?
All right. Unnati, also, you should keep your camera on. It's all right.
Yeah, I know that.
Anyway,
So yeah,
all
I
right.
am turning on.
Yeah, yeah. All right. It looks better if you keep your camera on. You can
Yeah,
keep your
I
mic
know that.
off if you want. It's all right. Cool. So we'll be talking about the whole developer student club lead process. And before we jump right into it, let me tell you a little bit about what Google Developer Student Clubs is, and what are the responsibilities of a lead, and what exactly does this program, how exactly would this program benefit you personally. So basically, like, Google Developer Student Club Lead is more of a, it's a community based program. It's a flagship program by Google developers, and they have been hosting this program for over, I think, for quite some years now. And I mean, this year, like in 2020, the program was completely virtual, so we were like the first DSC leads who performed our duties virtually and took sessions and conducted a lot of events virtually, and all of us were like, all of our needs were catered virtually as well. So these were the things that happened. It is more like, a normal campus ambassador program, but so, like, I mean, there are other campus ambassador programs as well, like Microsoft Learn, student ambassador, those kind of things are there. But I mean, DSC lead is something like, it has that exclusivity that, there's only one DSC lead, a GDSC lead at your campus, and there just can be one club and one lead, and there are the members of the club. I mean, the structure can be as the lead decides. It isn't something like fixed by Google developers. So I mean, DSC lead, like, is a very, it's a very difficult job, like being a DSC lead, because you're trying to, set an example for other people, as well as you leading other people. You're trying to learn on your own because you're still like in college. You're in either, I mean, DSC leads could be first years, second years, third years, and even fourth years this year. Like this year, they have waived out the requirement of, having like 2 years left until graduation. You can have as many years left. Like, you just need to be like, you just need to have 1 year left to be a DSC lead. You can't be a DSC lead when you're graduating. because you have to be in the college in order to interact with the students, right? So this is like some of the minimum requirements. And I mean, there are a lot of things that happen in the application process itself. So we'll talk about that first. Like, what exactly are the things that you need to do for to apply as a DSC lead? So this year, like, the reason why I keep saying DSC and DSC, because since last year it was like developer student clubs, but this year it has been rebranded to Google Developer Student Clubs. And I mean, this is a new addition to the community, and it has certainly like piqued interest of many people, because I mean, they get to have that tag of Google, and like there are other things. So I mean, so I just wanted to make sure that, through this session, I just wanted to make sure to motivate, to give you the right motivation to apply as well, because there are going to be a lot of people who would apply for this program just because it has the name Google in it. And it will enhance your profile, and it will help you, like, okay, my LinkedIn looks really good since there's like the mention of Google, of a Google Developer Student Club lead. So the only thing is that if you think that that is something, that is important, if you think that that is your motivation to apply, I would suggest that, like, I mean, don't, because honestly, it's like being a DSC lead, it's more than just, having a addition to your profile, because it entails a lot of responsibilities. It's not a piece of cake. Being a DSC lead is like one of the toughest things that I have done in my life. And the reason why I was able to do a decent job at it was because that I was driven by my passion of for helping other people and like giving back to the community. So, and like the only reason is that, like, even before I was a DAC lead, I was trying to help other people, because in my college, what the reason was that usually most of the people who apply, like the who apply for genuine reasons, are people who identify problems, who observe problems in the current system at their college, especially with respect to technical committees. So they identify things that, okay, it's a technical committee, yet there are not many technical activities happening. So in our college, like, I mean, people who did publicity, people who did marketing and membership and all of those things and technical committees ended up being the president of that club, which is something that I didn't quite understand. But it did make sense that, okay, publicity people do tend to know how to, interact with other people. They do know how to, express themselves, communicate properly. And us as developers, we're kind of geeks and we're nerds. We don't know how to talk to other people. We don't know how to, let's say, express ourselves properly. Like right now we're doing this stream, I mean, the only reason why I'm able to talk to you so like fluently and like not like being all gibberishy is because I was able to become a DSC lead. I was able to take a lot of sessions and conduct a lot of events throughout my tenure as a DSC lead, and on YouTube itself, because I mean we couldn't do it offline. So that was one more thing as well. Now, see, the thing is that if you're applying just because you want to improve your profile, that's a good
Let me.
reason.
There are
Sorry.
some questions in the chat box. Uh,
Right. I'm not able to see the questions. Wait, let me just. Okay.
could I speak it for you?
Yeah. So what I'll do is now that you just put these questions in the private chat over here, and I'll take them up one by one. Okay. Yeah. All right. No problem. So, see, I'll tell you one more thing is that is, like if you, the reason why I'm stressing so much upon the motivation with which you're applying as a DSC lead is because, see, the thing is that at the end of the day, even if you're like a DSC lead at the end of the day, and you apply, you go through a very comprehensive process, and you become a DSC lead, you have that Google ka tag on your LinkedIn, and everything is like great and flowers and all of those things. But at the end of the day, if you're not giving back to the community, if you're not using that title properly, nobody's going to respect you for that. Because and more than that, like Google Developers has a 90 day inactivity period, that if you're inactive for more than 90 days, they'll shut down the club. So this is also one of the things, one of the reasons why you should be taking this whole thing seriously. That it's not just for like the tag or for things like that. You have to actually help people understand things, right? So one thing, so like I think there are a couple of questions here, so like let me just take them up real quick. How you handle all things parallelly? It's hard for me to concentrate on things while doing multitasking. Okay, some DSCs are not active, then what happened? As I said, so yes, I mean the lead is not exactly removed from the program, but the club is rendered inactive. I mean, I've seen DSC leads who are inactive, like who haven't done anything in their club till now. I would I mean, I would not suggest you do that, because I mean, nobody's going to respect you for that. And the whole point of becoming a DSC lead is so that you can help other people at your campus, establish a good coding culture at your campus, as well as, like help other people, basically, like just give back to the community at that point. So this is something that you need to keep in mind before you're applying. Like when you're applying, I know that almost 50% of you might have already applied for this year. Like these are the applications of GDSC have opened from April 1, and they have go on to like they will go until 20th April. They'll close on 20th April. So I think we have like around 3 days. So let me just give talk you through the application process itself first, and then we'll move on to the rest of it. So the application process is pretty straightforward. You have three essay questions. I'm pretty sure you've read the prompts. If you're going to apply this year, then I'm pretty sure you must have read the prompts. If you just came across this program, then I would suggest you to go to just Google DSC Lead application, and I think the first result that pops up would be a link to the application itself, so you can like figure it out that way. But like there are three questions. Number one is to sort of understand what your motivation is to, form a DSC at your campus. So this is like something that I just talked about. Like you need to have the right motivation. Only then you will get selected. If you don't write the correct answer with that correct, tone or the correct attitude to apply, I don't think they would, take you in the program. If you just state it there that okay, I'm just doing this for myself. So yeah, this is not something that you should be doing. More than that, I mean, there are a couple of things. Like there's one more question. With respect to, let's say, your technical skills, how much of your technical skills matter? So like, what are your technical skills, what are the technologies that you're using? So that is also something that you need to work upon. I'll come to that in just 1 minute. One more question is about your demonstrated leadership experience. So this question is also very, very important, because this helps the reviewer understand that okay, if this person is actually meant to be a good leader or not. If this person genuinely knows how to collaborate with other people, lead with other people, like lead other people, basically. So I mean, yeah, these three questions are just to try to understand what your perception is with respect to your own skills, right? Now there's the 90-second video wherein you'll have to you'll have to record a video wherein you talk about why you should be a DSC lead, right? So these are the things that these are the, let's say, the components of the application itself. There's one more thing. I mean, there are a couple of more things, like there's a nomination code section, and there's one more like section where you have to provide all of your links, let's say GitHub, LinkedIn, your portfolio website, those kind of things, Stack Overflow, Medium, all kinds of links you need to apply, whichever platform you're active on. I would recommend you to have a portfolio website if you're applying. I mean, it's not necessary. I didn't have it. I didn't have a portfolio website ready when I was applying. So I don't think that it is that necessary. But LinkedIn is something that you need to completely focus on, because that is where, I mean, I think that is one thing that they will definitely check, just to verify the things that you have talked about in your, let's say your essays. So yeah, these are the things that you need to keep in mind. And coming to the technical expertise. So now I think Harshit has asked that what are some prerequisites for becoming a DSC lead, and how much time do we have to give for DSC? I think this is something that, that this is the most asked question, like that I have been getting in the past 1 month. So I would say that the only prerequisite is that you need to have that passion to help other people. That is very, very important. If you don't have that, don't apply. I mean, that is as simple as it gets. Other than that, when it comes to technical skills, you just need to have basic technical skills. Like, you need to have foundational knowledge in computer science. You need to know that, okay, if you know Python, then you need to at least know how, what the data structures are, what are, let's say, I mean, not necessarily in depth, but you need to know that, this all this goes on in coding, right? You have an idea with respect to at least one, let's say, domain of computer science. So let's say if there is something like, if there's DSA, the DSA as in data structures and algorithms, if you're good at that, that's great. If you are good at, let's say, machine learning, then you should at least know Python. You should at least have some idea of, let's say, scikit-learn, other frameworks in Python, right? And they won't exactly judge you for your technical knowledge. They'll just see if you know things in the interview. Like, in the next round, after you like submitted your application, they will take your interview as well if you get shortlisted. So in that round, they will try to gauge how much technical skills you have. So they won't ask you a question like, how you like, how do you do this thing in Python. They won't ask you technical questions. So they will just ask you like, what kind of projects have you worked on, and you need to explain it in as much detail as possible, so that they know that, you are technically, let's say, aware of things. So those are the things that you need to keep in mind. And I mean, this is some of the prerequisites that you need to have. Coming to the nomination code part of things, as a DSC lead of 2020 to 2021, I mean, I'm a current DSC lead at my campus. So if like, all the DSC leads have gotten one nomination code, which can be used 3 times. So let's say if I want to nominate someone on my own campus, I can give the nomination code to them to fast track the whole process, right? Now, if you're someone who wants to form a DSC at your campus, and a DSC already exists, so you have to go to the DSC lead, or the current DSC lead. You have to go to them and seek nomination code from them, because the thing is that the nomination code helps you fast track the application, especially when you already have a DSC at your campus, because there'll be a lot of other people who might be applying for this. Now, if you don't have a DSC at your campus, as Daksh stated, our college Bids Goa doesn't have a DSC club. How to start it? All you have to do is apply. Literally, all you have to do is apply. And with respect to the nomination code, you can either keep it blank. You don't necessarily need it. The nomination code is just just for the reviewers to think ki, matlab, it is just for us to have an opinion on who becomes the DSC lead at our campus, who gets to carry the baton forward. I wouldn't want someone who hasn't done anything in DSC just because they're technically strong to become the DSC lead, right? I want someone who knows the community, who knows how to work. Okay, I know my community best, right? So I know who to nominate. I know who would be able to carry that baton forward. So as a DSC lead, it is somewhat of my responsibility to make sure that people, at least like to identify someone who would be capable of doing this thing, because like, the reviewers may not have a good idea of what went on in the community itself, right? So if you already have a DSC in your college, contact your current DSC lead. Okay, go to your current DSC lead, ask them that, just tell them that, okay, I want to apply to become a DSC lead at my college this year. Can you provide me with a nomination code? That is it. Like if you already have a DSC at your campus. If you don't, you can seek out to other DSC leads also. They can, if they think that, if they have a spare nomination code for you, they can provide it to you. This is something that has been told to us, that if someone doesn't have an DSC at their campus and they want to form it, so just to make sure that their application is expedited, just to make sure that, just to help them. Because see, I was also the founding member of DSC. Like I founded the DSC at my campus. Before that, it didn't exist. So I understand the struggle of someone who is setting up the club for the first time. I didn't have any nomination code yet. I was able to do it, but I wouldn't want anyone to go through all of those things. So I would want to make someone's life better, easier, just to give them a nomination code, just by giving them a nomination code, so that their application is, you know, further expedited. So yeah, I mean, if you don't have a DSC at your campus, you can reach out to any of the other DSC leads. That is literally it. Any questions that you might have with respect to the nomination code? I know it is sort of a confusing concept. Do ask. One thing that I want to make very clear is that if you already have a DSC at your campus, you can't seek a nomination code from another DSC lead, because that is sort of like, I mean, that is not needed. We can't do that. Like you can't do that either, because you already have a DSC at your campus, and there is one person who knows your community in and out. So they are the best person to judge whether or not you are capable of leading. More than that, if you didn't get a nomination code from your DSC lead, if they've already given out the codes to someone, you can still apply. You shouldn't hold yourself back. Just because you don't have a nomination code doesn't mean that you'll be rejected, because at the end of the day, the decision is by Google. Okay, so like they'll be the one who will be deciding that, okay, whether this person is capable of leading or not. So it is up to you. You don't have to worry about it. You can just apply. Like I mean, I don't think any DSC lead would hold you back from applying. At least I won't. I mean, I have like there are around 10 people who are interested in being DSC lead. I gave out the nomination code to 2 people as of now. So I think, I mean, I encourage the rest of them to also apply, because I mean, there are people who are genuinely technically strong, and I encourage them to apply, because at the end of the day, it's Google's decision. So yeah, that is also one thing that you need to keep in mind. Now, if you have any other questions, you can also keep them going in this comment section. So, like a couple of tips that I want to give for your application video, like your 90-second video, is that so like if you are someone who wants to express themselves, like who is not that wait, Unnati, what are you doing? So if you're someone who's not like really good at expressing themselves, someone who hasn't like taken a lot of videos, because recording a video is a very difficult task. Even I find it quite difficult, even though I have taken so many sessions and I have spoken so many times. But I mean, it is a difficult task to record a video. Like the people who think otherwise might be like YouTubers or some people who might have, have a lot of experience in this kind of stuff. But if you're not someone who is very comfortable with it, I just have a couple of tips that, just try to be as confident as you can. Because I mean, they look for how confident you are, how assertive you are, like not in an aggressive way, just like an assertive way, because they want to see whether you have that quality, whether you have that vigor of a leader, whether if someone crosses a line, you know how to stop them, you know how to take responsibility, you know how to collaborate with other people, and to make sure that everybody gets in line and nobody like goes around and does anything that they want. People should, I mean, just like Michael Scott, like people should fear you and also they should love you. They should do both. I mean, not necessarily fear you, but like at least have some sort of a respect towards you, that they don't go ahead and cross you at some point. Like cross you as in ki matlab ekdam matlab disrespect karna. That is what crossing means. Crossing does not mean that going against you, because if someone is, speaking against your points or something that you believe in, that does not mean that, that is not something that is disrespectful. That is just constructive criticism, and you need to know how to take it if you are to become a leader. So yeah, I mean, those are some of the things that are very general. So yeah. Now, when it comes to, let's say, now you have, submitted your application, you recorded the video, that was great, you got shortlisted, it's amazing, you got a email that, okay, you've been shortlisted, you have to schedule an interview. You schedule an interview. Now what do, like, when you go to the interview? So you, first thing is that they will ask you, like, I think 2 3 questions, not more than that. They would never ask you follow-up questions. They will just ask you like 3 questions, I guess, and they'll just try to get whatever they can get from those 3 questions. So like, if for example, you didn't answer them like properly or like completely, then they won't say anything, they'll just like reject you. That's it. Like, they won't look any further. So, I mean, not to scare people, but there have been instances, like, some people just think that, okay, it's DSC lead banna is very, very easy. It is not. Okay, this thing is just for those people who think it's very easy to become a DSC lead. It is not. There, I mean, there have been instances where 20 people from a college have applied for to become DSC lead. Out of 25 got accepted in the interview round, and nobody got to become DSC lead. This has happened last year at some college. I would like to name keep that college unnamed, but I'm not like trying to spook you, but this is like a true thing. Don't take it too lightly, because some people do. I've been helping a lot of people in their application process, and I've seen a lot of them taking it very, very lightly. They think that, okay, they are very technically strong and they're like good speakers, so they'll definitely get in. That is not like the prerequisite of it all. So I mean, just make sure that that is there. One more thing is that don't try to fool your interviewer. Don't talk about fake projects or anything. Don't do that, because I mean, they will check your GitHub, they will check your LinkedIn, and I mean, it might seem that, okay, इतने लोग का थोड़े ना वो लोग देखेंगे. So many people, they won't look now, like, they won't just go and look at everybody's profile. They won't actually. They will look at it at the during the second round, when they are actually shortlisting the DSC leads. So at that time, they will definitely look at whether or not this person is, like, technically competent, as well as, someone who can take responsibility. So if you're lying, or if you're faking something, then just don't do that. Like, just be honest. Okay, you don't have to have like hundreds and thousands of commits on your GitHub to show that you're a good developer. You can have like 20 commits on your GitHub, that's fine. Like, nobody is going to question you, as long as you are able to prove that you have that kind of technical capability, and you have that passion to help other people. So like, just engrave this in your mind, that you have to have that passion to help other people. You have to have that vigor, that you want to help other people. That will be the only thing that will drive you, that will motivate you in times where, if for example nobody is supporting you, or something like that happens, especially in the beginning, because in the beginning you won't have a team. If you are a new DSC lead, in the beginning you'll have to make the form, you'll have to make all the social media platforms to publicize the club, and you'll have to make WhatsApp groups, you'll have to appoint some people, you'll have to select the core team. All of those things you'll have to do in a timely fashion. You'll also have to get the permission from your higher authorities to form a club at your campus. So in some campuses, it is like a huge amount of paperwork. In my campus, it was just like, I had a call with my HOD, and then my principal sir calls me, and then he says that, okay, DSC is an officially club at our campus. And it was a very epic moment. It was nice to hear that, because it took a lot of hard work to get there. But whichever way it is, like, it takes a lot of effort to form a club. So you need to have that motivation, that genuine motivation that you want to help other people. Only then you'll get to get through with it. Because if your only motivation is selfish, that okay, I just want to have a good profile, I just want to have that title. I know I've repeated myself almost 3 times over, but I just want to make sure that you guys understand this thing. Because I mean, this is something that has not been spoken a lot. People usually just talk about, oh, DSC lead or Google and all that. That's it. I mean, nothing else. They just talk about swags, they just talk about the things that you get. But you should also think about the things that you will give back, because that will earn you respect, and respect will in turn earn you a lot of other things. Like, i mean I mean, now that I have provided some value to my community. I'm not entirely the best DSC lead in the world, but I did have that passion to help other people. So I try to provide at least some value to them, be it in the form of small resources or events or anything else, right? So I tried my best to do that. And once you do that, now you other people, like other DSC leads, will respect you first of all, which is very very important. I'll tell you why. Because in DSC there are a lot of collaboration events that happen. So there are many big events like DSC Wow. There are other initiatives like the coding culture is one of the initiatives that this year's DSC leads had formed. Like 50 DSC leads collaborated together to make a community where students can come together, practice competitive programming, help each other, and learn more about competitive programming and learn from industry experts also, who have gotten job at Google, at Amazon, other big companies, Pang and all. So I mean that, because that is something that is very very important as well. So you need to earn the respect of those DSC leads as well, so that they also approach you for such initiatives. They approach you to help with such initiatives because you're doing good for your own community, right? So these are some of the things that you need to keep in mind. And apart from that, I mean, what happens is that some people ask me, well, how much time you have to give. You have to give a lot of time to be a DSC lead. You have to take sessions, like some people take sessions every week, some people take sessions once a month, twice a month or something. You don't need to take sessions very regularly, but at least be consistent with it. Like, try to take at least one session a month, so that you at least provide some value to your community. And you can have like other things, like you can host competitions, you can host, you can just provide people with resources. That is also pretty much it. Like, you don't need to do a lot for it. It depends on you how much time you want to give to it, but you should definitely allow allot some time out of it. Now there are some people who give way too much time into DSC, which I used to do in the beginning. But I mean, eventually, like, it started decreasing the time I used to give to DSC. The reason being is because we are also college students. We might be in first, second, third year, or fourth year also. This year they can apply. So I mean, we also have our own engagements. We have to do assignments, we have to do other sessions, right? So and like, we have to do other things as well. Like, we have to focus on our own skill development. We If for example I want to let's say learn React, okay, I want to become a web developer, or I want a job at Google. Let's say after I've become a DSC lead, everybody's like Google, Google, all that. So I want a job at Google because it's really great, right? And this is just an example. I don't actually want a job at Google, but I mean, if you are like someone like that, you what you can do is, like, I mean, you should always give yourself time as well, because it's not just about the community, it's not just about giving up back to the community. I know, like, some people are way too altruistic, like toxic altruism, like kind of like me. Like, I just do it way too much. I know that is like very very anti humility kind of a thing. But I mean, I'm kind of being a booster here. But what I would say is that if you're someone who is, let's say, someone who is like very very passionate about giving back to the community, try to make sure that you give time to yourself as well, and you are you're learning other frameworks, you're keeping up with the recent trends. If you're into, if you want to go for a software engineering role, you're doing data structures daily or something. If you want to, let's say, work at a startup, or if you want to start your own company, if you want to, let's say, work at a company where, you don't want a company where, which like values data structures a lot, so you want to do development and all of that, you should do that as well. Now, one more thing is that, like, you should also make sure, I mean, this is something that is out of the scope of the session, but I'd just like to mention this, that you need to have a balance between data structures and development, because this is very very important. I think I've read like hundreds of posts on LinkedIn about this. So you need to know how to balance out your stuff. Like, if you're doing just competitive programming and nothing else because you want to go to Google and, get a job at, let's say, Facebook or something, don't do that, because once you go there you'll struggle a lot, because you won't know how to use stuff that they are using. If they're using React, if you're going to Facebook and they're using React since they've made React, so if they're using React and you've never done it before, you've only done Java, which is like not even JavaScript, which is like a very basic requirement for React. Um, you will pick it up very quickly because you know the basic concepts and just the syntax would have changed. But again, it will be required at some point. And if you, for example, if you want to leave the company, if you want to join, start your own thing, or if you want to build an open source project or something like that, you'll need those skills, right? So you need to have a healthy balance of development and data structures, and you need to make sure that, this is the kind of mentality that you're propagating in your community itself. uh Makes no sense, but okay. I don't know, like, I don't know how it doesn't make sense, but all right. I mean, if it doesn't make sense, you can like probably tell me about it, how it doesn't make sense. Because see, the thing is that the I don't know what this is about, so like I'll just like continue with it. Um, so the thing is that, like, you need to make sure that this kind of a thing propagates in your community, a healthy balance between data structures and development. Okay, and you need to make sure that, like, I mean, you are taking care of it as a leader. And yeah, I think, right. So I think DSC Leads nominations are currently open. Yes, Pulkit, they are open. Uh, I mean, it's not exactly a nomination, but yeah, like, you have to apply to be a DSC lead. Nomination is just a part of it. So yeah. All right. Thank you, Shashank. I am glad that you were able to clear things out. So yeah, anything else that you guys might want to ask, you can do so right now. I think I'm pretty much done with the session here. And yeah, anything else, any doubts that you might have with respect to the application, with respect to, let's say, after you've become a DSC, what you need to do, or in the interview, or let's say the sentiments that you want to propagate in your community, anything that you might want to ask, you can do that right now.
So there was a question that what problems or challenges do you face while becoming a DSC? Like after you become a DSC.
Right.
Yeah.
So, there are a series of challenges that you face. So, number one is that forming a good team, because I mean, at many times, if you don't have a DSC at your campus beforehand, and you just like, if you're just forming a new DSC, and you want to form a team of your own, it is a very difficult task, a task at which I failed because I was not able to form a good team at first. It was a good team in the sense that, they were very technically strong, they were very very amazing, and like, but the thing was that they were not necessarily the most active people. They were not very passionate about helping other people. They were very technically strong. They could help, like they could easily help everyone, but they were very rude and arrogant in the sense that whenever someone used to ask them any doubts, they used to be like, Google it, or go to Stack Overflow, which is essentially like something that you do need to keep in mind. You can't just go on and ask someone some doubts that you are getting without actually searching that first on Stack Overflow. So I mean, that was definitely a valid thing, but they were not very passionate about helping other people. So that was something that was a very, very big obstacle for me, because everything at the end of the day landed up on me. But then I started correcting that mistake by making a new team of people. It was a team of many people who, let's say, contributed towards things like graphic designing, ideating the idea, like ideating stuff for the community, so that I don't have to think about every single thing that needs to be conducted, all the kind of events that need to be conducted. So there were people who were in charge of community engagement, keep the community engaged and all that. Right. So those are the kind of things that I try to do, so that like, which I identified when I made the mistake of building a team which is way too technically strong and way too arrogant to help other people. So this is something that you might face if you have, like, people who are very inactive in your core team. But if you manage to get a good core team, that will be like, perfect for you. You won't, I mean, there's a big chance that you might not have to actually face any obstacles after that. Obviously there'll be other obstacles, like there were many communities that face the obstacle of, online stuff that was happening, a lot of disputes that were happening. So that's why I said that you need to be assertive, you need to have that kind of respect, so that people think that you're credible. One more thing, like, credibility reminds me that, and I like, the reason why you need those technical skills is so that people find you a credible leader. Because the thing is that if you're not good at, let's say, data structures, or if you're not good at least something technical, then people would think that, this person doesn't deserve to be DSC lead. I should have been DSC lead since I know more than this person. So it shouldn't be like that. That's why they require you to at least have a basic knowledge. But if you don't have a basic knowledge, now all you have to do is, make sure that you are a constant learner, and you don't, like, get demotivated by constructive criticism, or, let's say, negative comments by people. So that is something that you need to keep in mind. Like, even I wasn't the most technically strong person when I became DSC lead, but now I am a way better version of myself. So I looked forward and not backward towards people, like either other I didn't see. I just looked forward, and that's what you need to do as well. uh, I think Pulkit has a tip. Even though if you are unable to become a DSC lead and wanted to contribute in communities, you can do that by joining communities and helping, collaborating with each other. This is a very, very important thing that you need to know. If someone else becomes a DSC lead at your campus, or if, let's say, you were not able to form a DSC at your campus, all you can do is, like, don't, like, go ahead criticize them. Don't do that. A lot of people do that. Good people do that. I know that a lot of influencer kind of coder people do that, like, influencer coders do that, saying that, okay, I was not a DSC lead, but I started my own thing. So I mean, there are people like that as well, which, who don't set themselves back just by a failure. You can always go ahead, make your own community. You can always go ahead, help the existing communities at your college or other colleges. So yeah, I think, yeah, that is, I mean, that is something that you definitely need to keep in mind, and never get demotivated by something. Always keep going forward. So yeah. Any other questions?
No, I guess there are no more questions are there. So
Okay.
I want to ask one question that I have heard about Michi Spotlight. What it
Okay.
is about? Like, could you tell people so that they could stay tuned? Uh,
Right. Thank you so much for reminding me about it. Wait, can you like put the link to Machi Spotlight, I guess, in the comments? That will be great
yeah,
if
sure.
that
I
is.
could paste that in the private chat. I could paste that.
Yeah. I'll do that. So Michi Spotlight is a newsletter that I have launched. So every Sunday, wait, Unnati, you kicked me out off stage. Okay. so like basically Mitzi Spotlight is a newsletter, a tech newsletter that I recently launched. So every Sunday I send out a new edition of Mitzi Spotlight. So it's a newsletter which talks about different kinds of things. So in the first edition I talked about how to get internships, and how to get internships, let's say through hackathons, how to improve your profile for internships, how to skill up, how to showcase your profile, how to build your own profile to attract, let's say, recruiters and all of those people, how to make sure that your GitHub is organized, how you commit, how you do all of the technical stuff so that you get an internship or you succeed in your career, or let's say, even, I mean, I post a lot of opportunities as well over there. So I mean, like, let's say even about DSC, I posted about it there as well. So you can always check it out. I think Unnati will put up a link to Mechi Spotlight. Um, yeah, and one more thing, that it's sort of a blog, right? So you don't have to, like, if I've already sent out an edition, you can always go back and read it on the blog itself. It won't be there on your email, but once you sign up, you will get all of the emails. So one more thing is that like, I mean, I've also talked about how to improve your own LinkedIn profile. I made a whole cookbook about it, like starting from your profile picture, how exactly you need to make sure that your profile picture is up to the mark, your descriptions are up to the mark, how you should talk about your experiences, how you should structure your headlines and all of those things. So I've talked about all of these things because, I mean, the reason why I started this newsletter was because there were a lot of people asking me the same questions over and over again, and I just got very tired of explaining everyone the same thing over and over again. So I just thought that, okay, I'll just make a newsletter and that's it. Like, you can just go ahead whenever someone talks, like, asks me about internships or about my own experience in, let's say, working at startups, or forming communities, being a leader, all of those things I've talked about and I will be talking about as well. And I think tomorrow the new edition of Machi Spotlight will be launched. So I mean, in that I'll be talking more about, let's say, open source and all of those things. I know it's a very saturated topic at this point, but there are still a lot of people who are not aware of it. So yeah, I mean, I think I should, like, just to be sure that everybody is definitely aware of what open source is, I'll be dedicating tomorrow's edition to that. So yeah, I mean, yes, it is a good place for introverts and beginners to get started. The reason being, I mean, people, like, I mean, even I was like one of those people who didn't reach out to my seniors for advice. I'd never, like, asked them that, okay, how should I do this, how do I get an internship, how do I do that. I never asked them because, on quite honestly, they themselves, they didn't have an idea. So for those kind of people, for people in tier 3 colleges who don't get opportunities through their email, like a lot of colleges, like, let's say, top tier colleges, I won't name any, like the top tier 1 colleges, they have emails, they get opportunities through on their email itself. So that was something that I wanted to do for tier 3 colleges as well, because we didn't get opportunities served to us, right? We had to go ahead and search for opportunities, scout opportunities, and even then, most of the times what happens is that, when you actually learn about an opportunity, it is being posted by someone as an achievement on LinkedIn. Okay, I am very excited to announce that I am a GitHub campus expert. So, let's say, just giving an example. So let's say I'm a GitHub campus expert and I'm very excited. This is amazing. And I couldn't have done this without this person. And yeah, I mean, with around thousands of likes and comments, and then when you look at it, you feel demotivated, you feel pathetic, you feel like, Arey, I should have applied to this as well, I would have also gotten selected. This person got selected but I didn't get selected because I didn't know about this. So this is the kind of thing that I'm trying to sort of solve here. So if you all have any suggestions, if you have any let's say, things that you want to help out with, you can definitely reach out to me via LinkedIn, Twitter. I think these are the platforms that I'm the most active at. Even on Instagram I'm there. So you can reach out to me
I
via these
will be
platforms.
posting
And
the
sorry.
yeah, I will be posting the links of your social
Yeah.
profiles in the description box by the end of the event.
Yeah, sure, sure, definitely. So yeah, I think this is something that you need to keep in mind, and I think I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure that this newsletter will help you a lot, especially if you're a beginner, and even if you're someone who is like in third or fourth year and has no clue of what they have to do. Because some people, they come to fourth year and then they think about placements and jobs and all of those things, especially tier 3 colleges people, like they're like, अभी आ गए इधर, अभी जाने दो इसको, like I don't know what I want to do in life. So this is something that, just to keep those people also motivated to do something or the other, especially if they're getting the opportunity, directly to them, they don't have to find those opportunities, like all those things, and also like suggestions and tips along with it. So that is something that I've thought that, it is an important thing to do. So yeah, I mean, I think they posted the link also. You can go ahead, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I mean, there are a lot of new things coming up with the newsletter as well. Like I've planned out a lot of more new things. So do follow Michi Spotlight. Do subscribe to Michi Spotlight, and you will get updated. All right. If you have any questions, you can post them. All right.
So there is a request, all of you who are seeing this podcast or live stream here, do take an assess and tell that what you learned from this session. It will be very beneficial for us to know that what you thought and what you learned from this session. So, like, take an assess and you could post it on your social media handles.
I'll also take an SS just in case.
So, yeah.
All right.
So I guess there are no more questions. We
Yeah.
could end the session. So thank you, Vaishnavi, for coming and like accepting my request for the session. And thank you to Sadhbir too because he was the one who talked to you like on LinkedIn. So yeah. So this will be a this will be a permanent session you could see here like if you face any issues while filling up the form. And thank you guys for joining us. Like, do subscribe to our channel and do subscribe to Michi Spotlight too. It will be very beneficial. So yeah. Okay. So thank
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.